Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all well. I've made several videos on this particular saw, just a handful, and I've also trashed a handful of videos. For some reason, it just doesn't get out there. One of the last ones I done, I don't even think it hit 70 views in several days. Um, anyway, this belongs to Justin Weaver. Most people know who Justin is in the comments. Husky 2100, I'd picked it up. It was just hadn't never ran right the whole time we had it. We done a carburetor swap on it. What it ended up being, I just think the governing circuit and the other carburetor was just out of whack. These were supposed to be governed at like 8,500, 9,500 RPMs, somewhere in that area. I don't even think this saw was turning 7,500. It was just slow. Did run it, make some cuts with it. It just got awful slow. He talked like it was just horrible to try to fall timber with. Just wasn't very happy with it at all, to my understanding. Now these are, old. Most of the people I've talked to said that they never wear a fast saw. That they just wear what they wear. Just a big grunty saw. But this one just doesn't even seem to have the grunt that I feel it should have. Hell, they were rated to pull a 60-inch bar, and I have you that might have been with like a skip tooth chain or something. I guess you gotta kind of look into that kind of deal too. You can run a longer bar on an underpowered saw. You just have to take half of the cutters off of the chain, and it doesn't take nowhere near as much horsepower to pull. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to quit running my mouth, and we're just going to see what makes this thing tick. If I feel I can wake it up with some very simple mods, like a base gasket delete, or just a mild port job. We'll get into that and see what we can find, but probably the first thing on the agenda is probably to yank the muffler off of it and the top cover and air filter assembly, and I should be able to get a port map on it with all of that off. Well guys, sadly enough, I'm going to cut this one short. I will upload the video. I'll probably just throw it in the mix today because there's not a video going up, and I'll probably send Justin a little short video of this. I've never ever seen one with bearings this bad. And guys, this is stuff you need to check. Now this saw starts on the second pull. It will sit and idle all day long. You can make cuts with it. It'll fall back down to an idle. No signs of an air leak anywhere. I'm sure the seals wouldn't take much more before they'd be on their way out, but either the SEMA ignition or Bosch ignition. And another deal with it, I don't know if Justin has noticed it, but the inside of this tank has some horrible corrosion in it. He had told me that the manual oiler didn't work, but the auto oiler worked awesome. And back to that compression, I'm pushing with a lot of might. I'm putting indentions on my fingers to get that to spin around. My goodness, that's horrible. This tank is corroded so bad that it's almost ate through to the journal where this pump is at. It wouldn't take me long to hook up an endoscope and go in and give you guys a look. I'm going to try to hold this in front, maybe where you guys can see it. I hope so. I do have cables. I could put this on the big screen, but where you can see right there as we go in where the oil pump is at, how corroded it is. I'm trying not to get too close if I do the focus on the camera. Mainly just to look, see at some of the corrosion in that tank. Now heavier I've seen worse, but to my understanding this is a really common occurrence with these things. Alright guys, we got her down on BDC. I pulled the plug out, we'll have a look. inside now. See if we can get a look, see at what the inside of the cylinder looks like. I need to get this camera positioned to where it's actually straight up and down. There we go, that's probably close enough. It does a 360 view. This one's not the easiest thing. I've got a smaller one. I need to get our computer hooked up out here. I'm looking at the cylinder first. Doesn't look bad. What you can see in there in the top of the piston, hell, it all looks pretty clean. Try some different angles. The other one I have is a lot smaller, but it's meant to go on a phone. And it'll only plug into the old Android micro USB plug. It's actually a really sharp little camera. But once we get the computer set up out here, I actually had it hooked up through the PlayStation, but the image it was showing me wasn't a lot bigger than that, so I didn't bother. But once I need to get a keyboard and a mouse and get the computer set up out here, if you don't know what I'm talking about. The whole little area over there. It wasn't just to watch TV, it was to do more fun technical things, but inside of that thing actually looks pretty good. I thought I seen one little smudge, but it wasn't. It just kind of the angle and a shadow the light was making. But and if you guys couldn't tell nothing from any of that, guys, I apologize. You'll have to give me a break. Maybe I can come up with some sources and maybe get a little more technical, or we can just video straight from the endoscope. We'll just have to see, but I was going to run the port map and stuff on this, but like, holy shit. Not really any point in it. There, if you hold the saw down, that is pretty damn bad. I would say the thing's probably got a mile of squish because I didn't really see any marks or anything on top of the piston. It doesn't really make any chatter while it's running. Usually when the bearings are that bad, the piston will have like a smashed place all around it where it's whacked to the top of the cylinder, the squish band. I've rebuilt a lot of old saws here, guys, but I ain't even 100% sure if you can even get everything to rebuild this, and we'll just have to see what he wants to do. Be cool if he could locate another tank. That one's seen much better days, but as always, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good one, and we'll update on this once I figure out what Justin wants to do, if anything. Y'all have a good one.